Since 2007, the Syscom and Pro-Eco Africa projects have developed a scientific basis for comparing conventional and organic farming in tropical countries. In this series of videos, we look at how Kenyan farmers implement the ecological approach on their organic farms. In each episode, we focus on a specific subject. Dr. Anne Muriuki has been involved from the early moments of the research projects. She knows the farmers, she knows the challenges, and she has scientific knowledge about organic farming in Africa. We follow her to visit 5 farmers in Kenya and learn about their journey. For this video, we have invited the 5 farmers we visited to exchange thoughts about crucial elements in organic farming: diversity and adaptation to climate change. We also invited Professor Monica Mucheru to join us in this discussion. She is the soil expert at Kenyatta University in Kenya and has been following the Syscom project from an early stage as well. She is a fierce promoter of climate-resilient farming and an advocate of organic farming.
Today we have 5 farmers that we have been meeting in the field. These are our very good organic farmers. They have already shared a lot from their own perspective on different subjects. And today we invited them to Karo. You are very welcome. At Karo we do a lot of research. We are trying to sort out farmers' issues together with other organizations like ISIPE, like FIBO, like Kenyatta University and many others. In organic, we think about 3 things: productivity, profitability, sustainability. Those are some of the things that I want us to talk about today from your experience. You say what difficulties you are going through, and then you also share with us how you are managing the challenges that are coming to you.
Thank you, Anne. I think you have said most of the things that I would have wanted to say, because when we look at climate change, one of the issues that is affecting us a lot is the rainfall. But I would also want to talk about the temperature. Maybe when you share with us, you will tell us from your experience, maybe for those ones of us who are a bit older, maybe the crops that never used to grow in maybe Kagare, and you can see them growing now. And those maybe are the crops that we used to say are for the coffee zone, the lower zone. But we are now being able to see, we can see them growing, because that is as a result of the increase in temperature. Yes. Now, I would want to know, what are those indicators that would tell you maybe the rains are almost here? Are they still here?
Yes. In April, we used to get rains. So between March and April, my prediction is that we are going to get rain. Even if the rainfall is not to be much, but it's going to be rain at least. Nowadays, it is somewhere like God has opened all the taps, the heavenly taps at once. So you get for the heavy rain for about 3 weeks. You hear people, 3 dead there, 4 people dead there with landslides, and then it goes out. So you cannot predict very much on rain, what to plant.
Climate change ni cenjetie muno na nginya igatutukania ithui turi arimi tondu tutirahota kumenya niri tondu ogono ni January ri niguo gukoragwo na riua, January, February, March gwakorwo na riua. Riu urakora atiriri January yo gukoragwo na riua ri niguo kwina mbura na ndurahariirie mumera wa gukorwo ukihanda hindi iyo. Nona riu gatukanirwo riu kihariria mumera nigetha wambirie kuhanda kuma April ri tondu niguo mbura yuraga ri ugakora naguo ni kwara. Nona riu igakorwo vice versa tondu hindi ya kwagirwo gukorwo gukiura ri tiguo kuraura. Koguo challenge ire nene muno ri ni climate change.
Climate change has been a very big challenge for the farmers because we've got to rely on only vegetables or short plants which we harvest for short time, but we can't plant either maize, we can't plant enough food because the rain is very short. So we are forced to go on only vegetables, potatoes, so there's still challenge of farming.
We used to grow maize using our pangas, just like that, and they used to grow. But nowadays, you can't do like that unless you use manure
for it to do well. And also, when it comes to the maturity period, you find that it is too small. But on earlier days, it used to be big. Yes.
Jane, you come from a slightly different area. Have you seen climate change?
Ndinyonete no ni atiriri. Ruga mundu arenda kebanga. Tariu ni njikaga uguo handaga na riũa ngahe mai. Riu haria mbura igukira ri tugakura.
So the rain finds it ikiwa chini. Okay. I'm so glad that you are sharing these experiences with us. It is important for us to hear the experiences of farmers in the field. Have you seen any new crops that never used to grow there that are growing there now? I know I saw a few the other day in all of your farms actually, and you say it is about money, but I think it's also about the temperature. Climate is changing, but I want you to talk about that as well.
Like bananas in our area used to grow well.
They never used to grow.
Yeah,
It used
bananas.
to be too cold.
Yes, it was too cold. But today bananas are doing well. Yes. Beans also.
Beans?
Yes. In the
Beans never
highlands,
used to grow.
beans were not doing well.
Beans.
But now they are doing well.
Now they are doing well.
Yes.
Maize.
Hindi ĩyo ya tene nĩ ciaikaraga no rĩu nĩ irateng'era nĩ irakũra na ihenya nĩ ũndũ nĩ kwĩna
You are moving towards 2 seasons rather than 1 season. That is very crucial right there.
Nĩ ndĩronire nĩ imba wakwa arĩmĩte na thumu ũyũ wa Kajiado na akarĩma na thumu ũyũ wa ng'ombe ahandĩte mbembe no mbembe icio nĩ ũndũ wa climate change rĩ irakũrire haha February-inĩ hau ũguo no iria handĩte na thumu wa ng'ombe wa gũkũ rĩ ciarĩ na tofauti nene mũno tondũ ciarĩ green na nĩ ciaciarire no ici ingĩ nĩ ũndũ wa thumu ũrĩa gũkorwo wĩ mũng'aru rĩ mũno rĩ itirĩ kĩndũ irarutire rĩu koguo rĩ thumu witũ ũrĩa tũrethondekera rĩ nĩ mwega gũkĩra tondũ wĩna maĩ koguo wĩra witũ rĩ kana ithuĩ arĩmi a organic rĩ na thirikari ĩingĩrĩre ũndũ ũcio rĩ ithuothe tũngĩingĩra organic rĩ ng'aragu no gũthire ngĩthira.
I think you have mentioned something very important, that although you have noticed that the rain is less and the temperatures are higher, the yields in your farm are more or less the same because you are using a lot of organic manure made the way it should be made. So you are not as affected as your neighbors who are doing conventional. I think that message has come out very, very strongly.
On the issue of the rainfall and the temperature, how has our soil changed? How has it been affected?
Organic farming has helped my soil a lot. Because you see, every time we plant, either be it maize, be it the spinach, it's doing well.
Niĩ gwakwa nyonaga rĩu ta kwagĩrire biũ. Ona andũ arĩa tũikaranagia nao mũno nĩ marerirĩrio nao.
Tĩri kwagĩra nĩ gwĩka atĩa?
Tĩri kwagĩra rĩ nĩ wahanda kĩndũ ũkona nĩ kĩreka wega. Yani niĩ nyonaga ta wariũkire nĩ ta warĩ mũkuũ.
Kũringana na kuma hĩndĩ ĩrĩa ndambĩrĩirie organic farming rĩ nĩ nyonete kwĩna change kũringana na ũrĩa tĩri wakwa ũhana tondũ ongorwo nĩ kĩrĩa wahanda rĩ ona ongorwo nĩ hĩndĩ ĩyo tũrauga tũtuĩkĩte confused rĩ mĩgũnda itũ ndĩtuĩkĩte confused. Mũrĩmi wa organic ndakoragwo confused no arĩa makoragwo me confused nĩ acio angĩ tondũ rĩu we wekĩra kĩrĩa ũrahanda thumu ĩ ona ongorwo no tũĩ tũnini ũkũhe rĩ thumu ũcio waku nĩ mũhehu koguo no kaũhehu kanini nĩ mũgunyu ũkahota kũiga maĩ rĩu ona wekĩra tũĩ tũnini rĩ nĩ tũgwĩka atĩ rĩu njuge hakwa niĩ rĩ ongorwo nĩ mboga ndĩrahanda rĩ ndahanda na thumu ũcio rĩ heaga tũĩ tũnini ta thikũ igĩrĩ mboga ĩyo ĩkagwata no ona yagwata rĩu nĩ ĩgweterera rĩrĩa kũrĩ thuthua rĩ no gũthiĩ rĩthi na kĩ na mbere.
If you manage a soil well, we have heard from you that it's able to keep better moisture, it is healthier, so the crops are able to grow quicker. Compare your soil now to those days in terms of organic and tell me whether you see many more organisms there.
Hĩndĩ ĩyo twarĩmaga na kĩrĩa hĩndĩ ĩyo mahinda mau ma tene warĩ brownish no rĩu nĩ ũtuĩkĩte ũkaira ũgatuĩka black tondũ wa gũkorwo ndũrĩ na chemical na ona waũrũma ũguo rĩ ũrona nginya wĩna tũtambi twĩ kũu thĩinĩ tũgunyũ ona tũngĩ ndũramenya nĩ tũtũ no tũrongoya kũu tĩri-inĩ koguo nĩ tondũ nĩ tũrona irio cia gwĩka atĩa cia kũrĩa.
Ndaringithania na kũrĩa andũ makĩhandaga na fertilizer ngarora gwakwa ngona ta kwĩ mbere na ngakĩigua gũkĩrwo ndũĩ no wage kwĩona wĩrwo rĩu ũguo nĩ nyonaga ũguo ngakĩona he ũndũ wonekaga onakorwo monaga organic tarĩ ũgori nĩ ndĩrona ta rĩu marathiĩ magĩtĩkagia.
We know these things scientifically, but it's very nice to hear that the farmers who are going organic are actually practicing and experiencing these things for themselves.
Organic farmers, you have invested.
They know.
You have invested in that soil. And I believe because of the investment that you have made, you will now start bearing fruit when other people are having challenges, even as we have the issues of climate change.
As an organic farmer, if I don't have to go and buy fertilizer, I'm just looking around my farm using what I have. And that becomes a very, very good reason why we should go more organic at the country level, using the resources that are around us, so that we are just buying what we don't have completely. But anything else we have, let us use what we have.
Within the SysCom and Pro-Eco Africa projects, farmers and researchers have learned many things from each other. These learnings are still being tested and adapted to improve their effectiveness in different scenarios. The SysCom project continues to experiment, learn, and share knowledge about the ecological approach to organic agriculture in tropical countries across the world.